Hey guys, my name is Wesley Winford. I play guitar here at Church of the Highlands, and we recently just tracked our latest full-length album in the studio here, and I'm going to walk y'all through some of the gear that I use for that recording and gear that I use for Sunday mornings. And I'm going to walk y'all through the pedal board and guitars that I personally own and some I used on the recording, and we're going to show y'all the amps that I use. So this is my Grinch anniversary right here. I've had this for a few years. I really like it. It's a great guitar. I haven't been playing it as much recently, but still one of my favorite guitars that I own. Alright, and next I have this Mustang. It's a pawn shop Mustang special. I've had this a few years too. I played it a lot when I first got it because I really like the pickup configuration when you can split the coils on these humbuckers and get a lot of different tones. So I'm all about trying out different tones and stuff. So I pull this out every now and then. So. Alright, here is my newest guitar. This is a Reverend Double Agent OG. And I'm really digging this guitar. I like the bass response on this. This is really cool. You can kind of control the low end on this pretty well. So I usually turn it pretty much off because it gets really bassy if you turn it all the way up. So this has got a P90 and a humbucker in it. So I really like this configuration of these pickups on it. So pretty cool guitar. It's got locking tuners in it. And I've been playing this a lot recently, so pretty cool. Alright, my next one, this is my Fender Strat. Kind of relicked it here a lot. I've had this a long time. I've had this probably the longest, and it's just a Mexican Strat. I have taken the pickups out and put Eric Johnson pickups in it, which I love, and it's totally transformed this guitar, and I play this a lot, so one of my favorite guitars too. Alright, next we got this Telecaster here. It's pretty much a parts caster. I believe the body is an American body, and the neck is definitely Mexican because it says it. And then the pickups I replaced and put Fender no-caster pickups in it versus the stock that came in it. So I'm really liking those now. It kind of helps the guitar sound a little better for me. It did used to have a Bixby on it, as you can see these holes right here. The person who had it before me did some modifications to it. That's probably why it's a American body and Mexican neck. So it's a 1991 Tele, well at least the neck is. So I love this guitar. I've had it for a long time, and it's just standard Tele. This guitar is actually not mine, but I used it for most of the recording that we did. This is a friend of mine, John Stevens, guy that plays here at Highlands Worship. He let me borrow his guitar. It's just a 62 reissue Jazzmaster. I love this guitar. It sounded great. So. Alright, so here's my pedal board here. I'm going to walk you through first and chain to the last. Volume pedal is Ernie Ball VP Jr. And then I use my tuner out for the Polytune 2. I used to have a TU2 and upgraded to this. Love this. It keeps me in tune a lot better than the TU2. Next in chain, I go to this True Bypass switcher here, made by this one's mine, Dan Burgess. He built this for me. So Then all my pedals hook into this, and the first in line here is my Walrus Audio Deep 6 compressor. So I don't turn this on. I don't leave it on all the time, but I use it, sparingly for different parts. Next is my POG 2, and I normally use that for just a higher octave. I've got about 2 or 3 presets that I use, one low and maybe one low and high octaves that I use for that. Next I got the Del Mar overdrive. That's my most recent overdrive I've got. I'm really liking this. I use it to stack overdrives on, actually I use my Klon on all the time, and then I'll stack this on for a little more grit. So I like using the bass and the treble control for this overdrives. It kind of opens up to giving me a little more options to use for my tone. Next is the Klon Centaur. I love this overdrive. Best investment I've ever made in an overdrive. It just does everything that I need, and I normally have it about gain set pretty low, but I use it for anything. I'll crank it up. It sounds great, really overdriven. Sounds great clean. So just a great overdrive. Next I've got the Rat. Love this pedal for some really heavy stuff, but not too heavy. So I really keep this distortion knob probably around here. I don't go higher than that because it's just way over the top, getting past 12 o'clock. So I keep it pretty low. Alright, next is Sparkle Drive. Sorry, I don't have a picture for that one, but I recently swapped this out. This is kind of my spot where I kind of take different pedals out, overdrive pedals, but I've got the Sparkle Drive for now. Really great pedal. I've had this pedal for years, and just put it back in my Signal now. It's just a great standard overdrive. I use that to stack as well on the Klon whenever I want to get a little more grit. Next I've got the M5 made by Line 6. So I have some presets set up in here. Mainly I'll use it for an extra delay or some tremolo, modulation stuff. I got a little filter sweep set up, mapped to this thing, this expression pedal, made by this one's mine as well. Alright, next is the Strymon Timeline. This is my main delay pedal. I set up all my delays on presets right here, and I flip through presets during a set list at church whenever we do songs. So I'll go from song to song and flip through the next banks and stuff. So that's how I like to run my delays. And I have this expression pedal mapped to the timeline, so I normally just have the mix knob mapped to this, so I can control my mix on the fly if I need to. Alright, next I've got the Strymon Big Sky. I love this reverb. It does everything and beyond. I have about 2 or 3 different presets I use on this, like a hall setting, the cloud setting. It's really ambient type reverb setting I really love. And then sometimes I use a shimmer, and I really like the bloom setting as well. So also I have the expression pedal maps to that as well for the mix knob, so I can control the mix knob on the fly as well. Alright, and then the last pedal is my Boss RV5. I've had this pedal for a long time. I had it modded by this one's mine again, and he modded it to have an expression output for the effect level, and that's what this pedal down here is for, so I can fool with that on the fly as well. Alright,
A lot of on-the-fly stuff.
That's all my pedals.
What is it? All mono?
Oh, it's I have the last 3 loops in my looper set to do stereo. So all I have to do is plug them in for stereo when I want to run stereo, which actually was doing it for this for the album that we just did. So it's, you know, left and right out, and there's a little switch I gotta flip, and it goes to stereo. It's on the end here, and that's it.
Cool.
That's all the pedals. Hey guys, so here are some of the amps that I used for the recording and I use for Sundays. This one right here is my personal amp. It's a British-made Vox AC30. It's got greenbacks in it, greenback speakers. I normally run through the normal channel, this input right here, for most of my stuff. So I usually keep the volume about right here, and the cut I change the cut per guitar that I'm playing. I tend to go more bright than usual. So, yep, sometimes I'll use the Brilliant channel. And I also use this AC30.
Sounds better.
Yeah, this is Zach Drummond's. He's actually running the camera right now. I use these in stereo for the recording for probably about half the songs. So this is awesome amp too. It's got a greenback and a blueback in it. We just mic'd the greenback because that was what was in my amp, so I wanted to make them, you know, sound pretty close. So
Gaff tape for tone.
yeah, sweet. All right, so right here I use these for the rest of the half of the songs. This is a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe. This is my personal amp as well. So yeah, these are actually the settings I used for that recording. So yeah, I like to run things a little bit brighter than normal. So yep. Also,
Stock speaker?
oh, it is not a stock speaker. It is a vintage 30.
Right
I
on.
replaced that from the original Fender loudspeaker. I put in the vintage 30. I like it a lot better. It gives a nice punch to it. All right. This one is the same amp, obviously, because we did stereo. This is Jay Wood, one of our sound engineers. This is his amp. So I set it, you know, pretty close to the same, so we can get a nice stereo image. He actually still has his Fender loudspeaker stocked in here, so they
Nice.
sound pretty close. So I really liked that setup I did for this recording.
Mics.
Mics are, yeah, we used that's a Ruben mic and a good old 57.
What would you say about the mic technique you guys used? Is it varying from Sunday?
We actually do this at our Grantsville campus. We actually use more, like we do 2 mic setup. We'll do a 57 and typically some sort of ribbon mic for our configuration for those mics. So yeah, this is pretty close to recording versus actual Sunday morning.
57 or where it's kind of a...
Yeah, but most of our
Go
other
to.
campuses will do, we'll just throw just a 57 on normally.
Yeah.
So,
Right on.
all right, so
Last but not least.
here are the amps that we run here at our Grantsville campus on Sunday mornings. They stay in our cabinets, which are actually in our auditorium over there. But I pulled them out to record with. Actually, I did not record with these on this recording, but John Ross did. So the Matchless, so it's got 2 channels. It's got a 12AX7 side right here, and it's got an EF86 side right here. I normally use the EF86 side. I've just gotten used to it. It kind of breaks up differently.
A lot more gain.
Yeah. So I definitely have to be, you know, aware of that and controlling over the gain for that. So I typically have it, you know, set a volume about right there, tone, I do 2 clicks that way. The cut, I usually, you know, kind of same as my Vox amp, right there to about right there, depending on the guitar. And then I usually I leave the master all the way up.
Is it a push-pull master?
Yes, push-pull master. I liked it.
In the detached mode or the attached mode?
I like the detached mode. There's a slight difference between that.
Yeah.
So I like it out. And then whenever I play my Gretsch guitar, I run the AX7 side. It's a little bit cleaner because my pickups and my Gretsch are a little bit hotter. So I'll have bass around there and I'll boost some treble a little bit. So, and then the volume I'll have probably about right there when I do my Gretsch. So that's pretty much my settings I use for the matchless.
Stock speakers.
Yes, stock
like
speakers.
A couple Celestians.
Yeah, it's got the, I guess, matchless's kind of take on the greenback and the vintage 30. So I like the vintage 30.
Is it a vintage 30? I thought it was a heritage 30.
Heritage 30, yeah, whichever one of those.
Yeah.
So I believe it's this one is the heritage 30. So I like that speaker versus the greenback.
Is it darker or?
I don't know. They're very similar.
Okay.
It's just my preference of so. But we normally mic both speakers when we're at Grants Mill campus. So we'll put a mic on each one.
Right on.
So it'll be usually left and right in your ears. But if I had to choose a preference, then I'd probably go with that one, the GH Troll Heritage. All right, sweet.
Cool.
That's our answer.